Hey everybody, I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel, Digital Pizza. I've named it after my website that I've had for 20 years, and my website and my YouTube channel will be dedicated to the preservation of classic Japanese motorcycles and classic American muscle cars. I will be restoring a number of different bikes and cars over the next couple of years, and I wanted to record that in a series of these YouTube videos. So let's get started. I will be restoring some of the Japanese bikes, one of which is a 1973 CB750, 1983 1100F. This is a CL72, a 1982 900F, and I'll be restoring a couple of 79 CBXs like this one here. I restored this bike for myself a couple of years ago, and this bike has won 6 first place shows, including the Quail Lodge down in Carmel. I'll be going through step by step the restoration process of 2 of the bikes that are just like this. I will also be restoring a 1969 early die-cast CB750. That's what this frame here is. This bike has been stripped down to the bare frame and is ready to be taken to the powder coaters. The frame next to it is one of the 79 CBXs that I'll be restoring also. As you can see, the CBX frame has been powder coated, and the 750 frame has not been powder coated yet. There's a lot of controversy about powder coating versus painting on these frames, but I've been very successful over the years having my frames powder coated. I've worked it out with the powder coaters to not put it on too thick and not put it on too thin, but to duplicate exactly what the original paint was from Honda, which is very difficult to match when you spray paint it. Aside from that, powder coating is bulletproof while you're putting the bike together. It resists scratching, and if you spill any of the like brake fluid or gasoline or whatever on it, it's pretty impervious to it. There's some concern about filling up the VIN stamp on the neck, but again, I've been very successful at working with them to try to get that so that they don't fill it up. I'll lift the frame up here and you can see. As you can see, even with the powder coating, the VIN number stamped on the side is very legible, and they did a great job with the powder coating right there. This is the second CBX that I'll be building. I'll be doing both the bikes at the same time, and I'll have a series of videos, step-by-step process building those bikes. And I'll go over each detail, including the European Sport Kit, which one of the bikes will have. Those heads right there are from my 1969 Camaro Z28, which I will also be doing a series of videos on that restoration. That car right now is in the body shop being painted, and as soon as I get it back from the body shop, I'll be starting a series of videos on that, probably by this summer. This is the original 302 block for the 69 Z28. And it's the DZ block, correct numbers matching block for the car, as you can see there for the people who know about these cars. Again, I'll be doing a series of videos, each step of the restoration process on that car, starting with building the engine. So again, I'll be starting that probably in the next month or two. This is one of the CBX engines that I'll be restoring. And as you can see, this engine has not been restored yet. It was taken off one of those bikes, and the bike was in pretty much the same condition as this engine is now when I tore it down. But I'll be going through each step on how to restore this engine to look like factory new again. This is the engine off the bike that I've restored that I showed you earlier. And that engine will look just like this when I'm finished. Again, I'll be going through each step on how to bring the engine back to looking like this again. Another thing that I hope to do is have a series of videos on the restoration of this old cigarette machine from the 1940s. I'm going to tear this machine all the way down and try to restore it back to looking like new again. And I may convert it to a candy machine, which back then they used pretty much the same machine for everything, cigarettes, candy, etc. So at some point in the future, I'll be doing a series of videos on that as well. Another thing that I would like to do is do a series of videos on the remodel of my shop. Right now I'm in the middle of remodeling it, and this back portion here is going to be sort of a hangout area with a pool table, and we're building a bar that's going to be set up like a 1950s diner with all of the red and black and white checkerboard and neon lights and so on and so forth. So I'm hoping to do a series of videos on that as well. We're kind of in the middle of doing that right now, and we've built this pretty much from scratch. So that should be pretty interesting to follow as well. One of the series of videos that I'm going to do is on the parts and pieces of a 79 CBX as well as the 750s. But one of the things that I'm going to feature is the European Sport Kit for the CBX. This bike here is equipped with that. The Sport Kit was available at the parts department back when these bikes were new. So the American buyers had to buy the kit separately if they wanted the low bars and the rear sets that the European bikes had. So I've got a brand new set in the box that I'll be opening up and unpacking and going through each one of the parts to kind of show you what's involved in that. Also, I'm going to do a series of videos on restoration of the gauges. I also produce reproduction gauge faceplates that are identical to the originals. As you see here, these gauges I restored for this bike. I also restored the idiot light lenses to look like new again. A lot of these fade to where you can't even read the letters anymore. And I do a full-on restoration on those to make them look like new again. I'll have that information down at my link if you're interested. As I mentioned before, I'm going to do a full set of videos on both these bikes here, also the restoration process. This one again is a 1973 CB750, and this is a 1983 CB1100F. Both these bikes I'm going to do a frame off restoration, rebuild both engines starting from scratch, and I'll go through each step on the restoration process. The 1100F has sort of an interesting story. The guy I bought it from was returning from a trip, and he was about 10 miles from home, and it was starting to get dark, and a deer jumped out off the embankment and landed in his lap, and down he went. So as he's sliding down the road, the deer ran off. So watch those deer. Anyway, I'll be doing a full video on the restoration of this bike as well. And as I've mentioned, that I'll be doing that 1969 Camaro Z28 as well, which should be really interesting. I'll be doing a whole series of videos on that restoration during each step of the process. So I hope you guys enjoy my introduction video of my shop and my restoration business. And I hope you stay tuned for more of the videos that I'd mentioned that are coming up. Anybody who's into these bikes, I'm sure, will be interested and will be picking up some really good tips that I've developed over the 30 years working on these bikes. So if you could subscribe and leave comments below, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.